Well, I think looking at Wake Forest, certainly they've got two quarterbacks, both pretty athletic quarterbacks that'll run the football. I think what they've done since the last year, they've certainly upgraded their receiving core, pretty talented receiving core. So it's a lot of big, long receivers out there, and they have a good system. They have a good system, and I don't think they have two quarterbacks. Both of them can run, so we got to be conscious of that.
Obviously, the system's different since you were there, but do you know much of the personnel? Does that help you at all?
I think there's a good portion of the personnel that's there. Obviously, I had a little bit better familiarity with the defensive personnel, but certainly some of the young offensive personnel I am familiar with, yes.
The defensive personnel, I know they have a lot of juniors, seniors, even grad students among the linebackers and secondary. Did you recruit a fair amount of those kids?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. Good kids, just like our kids. Good kids, and some of those. There's a half a dozen starters right now that were with us when we were at Wake.
With Crawford making Big Ten co-freshman of the week, just thoughts on his development and what's his ceiling?
Well, it's exciting to see these freshmen. I think Jameel Cook is a guy that started for the first time at safety, and was one of our top leading tacklers, and probably graded out the best of the secondary. But obviously, Jonathan Crawford made two huge plays back to back for us, and was our defensive player of the week, and I think rightfully so was the freshman of the week in the Big Ten. So it's exciting to see him continue to develop. His open field tackling has improved, and he just gets better week to week.
What allowed him to make those two plays? I mean, was it a read? Was it jumping around? What did he do?
I think just from a standpoint of athleticism, I think Coach Joseph and Coach Shelby do a great job back there preparing those young kids. One of them, I think he was a middle third, covers a lot of ground as a middle safety, deep third safety, and the one down towards our goal line, he was a deep third safety, and it came over the top. And on the second one, he was in man coverage and undercut a corner out.
How do you think Tigray and Chase did in their first games back?
I think both of them were a little rusty. A little rusty from a standpoint. I don't think Chase had really practiced a full practice before we put him in, and so it's exciting to see both of them back there because they are two dynamic players for us. Have a lot of good game experience, and just see both of their roles continuing to develop. And I think their leadership should stand out this week.
What was the issue that Chase overcame? Is he full go now?
Yeah, he just had an injury issue with his knee, but I think obviously you could see he was full go last week, and so we don't anticipate any issues.
Personally, is this a game you look forward to, or would you just as soon get this over with and move on?
Honestly, it's just another game. I think it'll be different, just going back to somewhere you've been for 7 years, but in the past, but. Really just looking at that opponent, it's really not any different than probably the first three.
Can you recommend any restaurants or anything?
Recommend any restaurants? There's a couple of nice restaurants. I'll get with you on that one.
Ralph Green's lined up a lot of nose guard lately. What have you seen from that front three of Mangieri, Green, and lately?
I think all three of them are very active. Ralph and Darius have done a nice job penetration, getting in the backfield, and Nick, with his athleticism at the position we're playing him at, I think has done some really good things. I'm disappointed we haven't had more sacks, and that's something we need to work on. Quarterback's been getting the ball out quicker. We've done a decent job batting the ball down. We got big kids up there that get their hands up and need to continue to do that as well, but really need to improve on finishing off and being able to get more sacks.
You keep talking about athleticism, but is that the big component behind the increase in the amount of turnovers you guys have been able to get?
I would think so. You look at where we got our turnovers from, it's been in the secondary, and that's where some of our, we continue to upgrade our athleticism back there with some of the young kids developing turnovers. I think we've been able to get some pressure that have created some quick throws. I think, for instance, the corner route that Crawford picked off, Ralph Green was right in the throwing lane and had that big old paw up there, so I think it may have, impacted the throw of the quarterback. And it was a talented quarterback last week, so to be able to get two key interceptions from him is important.
What kinds of things can you guys do, or have you talked about doing to try to get more pressure? I mean, is it just doing what you're doing?
Well, I think we need to keep doing. We've been able to pressure with 5. We've been able to, rush 4, and some of our best pressures and sacks have come out of a 4-man rush. So we just need to continue the Shaw, Mangieri, Latham, and Green being able to, for those 4 to create pressure and pick our spots obviously when we need to bring more than 4.
I mean, it seemed like in the second half you guys made Dowdy a little bit more uncomfortable. I don't know Jonathan Crawford's second pick. It looked like he had to kind of step up a little bit because the rush came in. Maybe that 1 second was all Jonathan needed to make.
He did, and on that particular man, Jerry made him step up. Green was right there with a hand in the face, and so just to be able to get him off the spot, I think was important for him. When he got his feet set, he was pretty darn accurate and pretty good. But whenever we had to get him moving off his spot, we had some success.
Secondary, work in progress. It's progressing. Are there any specific areas that you really need to see progress? What areas specifically you need?
Well, I think as we start to get some guys back, Chase Dutra, the dynamics back there with guys and the positions they're going to play and getting more. Jameel Cook had not played much safety, and so be able to utilize him more back in the secondary and be able to get different packages in at times. We were able to do some nickel with Jameel. And, hopefully we'll be able to do some different things, coming up down the road, be able to get different combinations back there. Being able to play a lot of guys has helped us, and we need to continue to do that.
He's a guy that you guys are high on, and he got banged up early in camp. Is there still a chance for him to get?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Tyler Green's a guy that right now has been redshirted, but any of our young kids, we actually get to spend more development time. Yesterday in practice, when we practice Sunday, we get to spend a lot of time with those young kids. And so guys like Brandon Wilson, Tyler Green, guys who came in with some high expectations, they still could play.
Saying he wants a little bit more out of some of the true freshmen you mentioned on the scout team. Is that something that you're noticing that you want maybe a little more out of some of those redshirt guys?
I think so. Coach does a great job in highlighting and rewarding those guys each week that are great scout team players. Guys like Brandon Wilson, a young freshman, did a nice job. And so, from an incentive standpoint, certainly, trying to get those guys to give as good a look. They do a great job as far as watching the opponent's film, whether it's yesterday, tomorrow morning, and just being able to, it's a very important part. Those young freshmen who were still trying to develop and still could play. But right now their role is to give us a look on our opponents.
Is there any reason why the team in general has played better in the second half? Certainly the defense has too. Defense has made plays down the stretch. Any particular reason for that? Is that partly freshmen settling into the game a little bit?
I think our guys, they have a confidence in a halftime, even though it didn't look great at halftime on Saturday. They had that look, resolve that, not a panic look, and it's hopefully good down the stretch. We've been in situations where we've been behind and we've came back and played. I think most of the game, all 3 games we've had, we played pretty solid coming out of the gate the second half. And so I think that'll be something that our kids, once you do it over and over, they kind of expect to play well in the third quarter.